In April 2009, senior representatives of several major insurance firms headed up to the Arctic on a fact-finding mission. Their destination was Svalbard, an island with 2 polar bears for every inhabitant. The trip was organised by Catlin Group and led by company director Stephen Catlin himself.
Welcome to Longyearbyen, where you couldn't have arrived on a better day. I mean, literally, the temperature here now is about -13 or so. It's for this time of year, and here it's positively tropical. The weather forecast for the next few days.
Catlin's interest in the Arctic is well known throughout the insurance industry.
Perfect place. When you're here in bad weather, it can be slightly dicey.
In 2008, they put their name to a polar expedition that would conduct one of the most detailed studies of the Arctic ice ever. Over 3 months, the Catlin Arctic Survey team would haul sleds across 1,000 miles of harsh terrain. The explorers put their lives on the line for this scientific data, risking polar bears, crossing open leads, and suffering temperatures way below -40. All the time accurately measuring a complete transect of Arctic ice all the way to the North Pole. Collecting data that would help scientists better understand the effects of climate change in the Arctic, and data to help risk advisors more accurately predict how ice melt and rising sea levels will affect the wider world. Following hot on the heels of the survey's explorers, Stephen Catlin and Associates headed off to see the Arctic firsthand, come what may.
If there is a polar bear or some danger in the terrain, I do like this and you will stop immediately.
Aware of the dangers, Stephen Catlin set out on his own journey across the Arctic tundra, accompanied by senior representatives from Aon, Marsh and Miller. This was a hands-on visit across hundreds of miles, an Arctic experience these men would never forget. After a 70-mile trip over spectacular terrain, the team reached a temporary Arctic camp similar to what the Catlin survey team would be using on their expedition.
So guys, this is going to be your Arctic experience. We're trying to make it quite authentic. There's a couple of sleds that we've loaded up. Michael's going to run through with you the stove that Penn is using. Simon is going to talk more about the actual science of that they're doing each day, and you'll go out and you'll drill an ice hole as well.
These are ideal polar tents. They're very lightweight, very rugged, and most importantly very simple to put up. So we'll have a look inside.
A great deal was learned from the team of Arctic experts. Firstly, about sleeping arrangements.
Yeah, they're sleeping top to toe.
I'd never do that, I've got such smelly feet.
Oh, right.
Also about how the scientific data was collected on a daily basis.
Okay, so that's a fair old gap, isn't it?
Then you can just add some more snow.
How the polar team cooked their food in such an extreme location.
It's important that you dig down so you don't get the surface, because it can be some dirt in it.
And this is about half what Penn is pulling at the moment.
And experience what it was like firsthand to pull one of the sleds that the survey team rely on for their survival.
I'll give you a hand. A little bit of teamwork. Brilliant. You would do that 50 or 60 times a day.
Awesome.
But the highlight of the experience was surely a chance to speak to Penn and the team out on the ice.
It's quite extraordinary, you sound like you're next door. The temperature's been for almost 50 days now, between -30 and -45 degrees centigrade. So quite warm then.
This experience brought home the immediate dangers and significance of the Catlin Arctic Survey.
These people are taking their lives, actually putting their lives at risk, not only because of the width of the ice, but also the what's out there from the point of view of animals and so on. So it's cold, it's tough, and they're obviously very dedicated, and I take off my hat to them.
I think the idea of helping somebody gather data, helping to get a better understanding of actually what's going on out here is a fantastic thing to be able to be involved with.
I have a lot of respect for what Catlin has done out here. The fact that they've picked up the need to sponsor this survey is very impressive. A lot of people can just look at an issue, talk about an issue, and certainly this is one that is well talked about, but just saying, I'm going to set the team out there, I'm going to fund it, I'm going to get the data, that's a fantastic first step, and it's leading from the front.
But why is data on the Arctic so relevant to the insurance industry?
Well, it's relevant in terms of understanding the risks that we underwrite. It's relevant in understanding the risks that our clients, our policyholders, the risks they run. It's relevant to the brokers for them to understand better what is going on. And it's relevant, I think, that it demonstrates that as an industry, we actually care.
The impact of global warming to all of us is obviously significant. And to insurers, the risks that they are underwriting can be very much impacted by global warming.
At the end of the day, insurance has been at the leading edge of helping manage the world's risks, and the change in the environment and the impact it could have on the global economy, what it could have on commerce, what it could have on business, is quite profound.
We do have to make a bet. We have to understand how capital is going to be deployed, how it's going to impact the world. So we need the data. We need science to look at the issue very deeply. So as is quite often the case, the insurance industry is going to be the first to really understand the issue.
The remainder of the Arctic adventure was to prove just as inspiring. Being so remote meant a night aboard a 100-year-old schooner frozen into the ice as a temporary hotel.
Igloo! Igloo!
Then a further day to tour the island. Getting up close and personal with a 10,000-year-old glacier. Coming almost face to face with a ringed seal. And a dog sled ride through the pristine wilderness on a blanket of snow. Surely the most natural way to view the Arctic.
That was awesome, unbelievable. Could have been the coolest thing ever.
Back in Longyearbyen, the men held a meeting to discuss what their companies and their industry might be able to do to further the Arctic survey.
A satellite image which was taken this past summer, where it was one of the first times.
They listened to a range of expert polar opinion.
And as rudimentary as it might seem, going and drilling holes and getting a tape measure out, it's very, very basic, but it works.
And offered their own thoughts on how best to approach the future.
Rather than just relying on satellites.
I think the what next question is in a sense dependent upon the value of this current exercise. Do we need to do more work to understand what's going on in the Arctic Ocean? Or do we know enough about that to say, right, what is the next piece of data that we should actually go for and collect?
Whatever the opinions expressed, everyone was clearly inspired by this trip to the Arctic, and in the run-up to Copenhagen, all agreed something had to be done.
We will all be going back to London and to New York and Chicago, and we'll be talking about what we've seen, we're talking about what we've learnt, we're talking about how we can change things.
I'll go home with more conviction. It's hard not to. And the message will be, let's see what we can do. I think by being here personally, by taking home some of the material that we're going to have from this trip, hopefully we can pass that message on through the firm.
While it's unbelievably pristine and beautiful here, there's been clear impact, and that's something that all of us should work together to try to help manage more effectively.
The really is an issue for us all to think about and to work together on.
I'm certain the fact that we have been here means that we'll talk about it more passionately, we'll talk about it from the heart, and we'll be alive with the issue.